Hi everyone, and welcome to the Sagittarius March 2022 mid-month engagement reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. And better said, to find where you fit. All right, so all of my lovely Sagittariuses, I hope your month has been off to a great start. This reading here is meant to basically be just kind of a mid-month reminder to keep your unique, internal, authentic self engaged with your external environment so that there's not a day that goes by that you are not present and aware and bringing yourself into every situation and decision and action. So I'm going to be pulling a card here. Oh, interesting. Scorpio got the same card. I'm going to be pulling a card here where we're going to read the little message in the book that comes with this card. And this is basically a focal point to kind of keep you engaged for the month, for the rest of the month. And then I'm going to pull some additional cards to get some additional messages around this focal point. So we have Dark Angel, number 30, breaking down to a 3, which to me speaks to the number of divinity and kind of greeting life with the innocence and curiosity of a child. So Dark Angel, let's go ahead and read a little excerpt from the book here. It says, the Dark Angel comes to you with a radical truth. Divine love is always there for you without exception. Love will never forget you. It will never stop caring for you. Even when it seems most unlikely, in fact, especially then, the divine is reaching for you and nurturing you. Even our wounds are ways that we can discover love and divine grace through the healing process. The divine is always helping you remember who you are and find your true joy. When the Dark Angel appears, you are being given a gift of light, even if it may seem to be a hidden blessing. I want to read the first, this is very lengthy descriptions here. So I'm going to read just the additional first paragraph here of the broader message. It says, a dark mystery is one that helps us learn that even if things don't seem to be working out according to the timing or the methods that we believe necessary, the light and love of spirit are unfailing. If a door is closed in your face, it is the wrong door for you. Divine love will ensure that the right door opens at the right time. Beautiful message, Sagittarius. So this is coming through very differently for me, for you guys, than this card came through for Scorpio. For Scorpio, it really focused on kind of having faith that everything, that even with the negative things happening in the world, that there's a quality coming through of understanding that there is a larger purpose and everything will be balanced. For you, Sagittarius, there's something here. There's more of a specificity that is coming through for me with this message to you, that there is something here where I feel like you have been wanting something to happen or hoping something to happen, and that you've been going through a little bit of kind of this like dark night of the soul a little bit around it. Maybe not openly to others, but a little bit on the internal side of where you're like, why isn't this happening now? Why every time I try to maybe explore this one avenue, it goes nowhere? Or why every time I try to take action towards maybe changing my career path, it just seems to kind of go eh. Or every time I go out and I kind of put myself out in the dating world, I'm not successful. But there's something here around that, around this month, really kind of stepping into that place of understanding that what is meant for us is meant for us. It's not to be denied, meaning all of us are deserving of love. All of us are deserving of being nurtured. And hold on just a moment, guys. My apologies, I had to step away for just a second. Okay, so there is this element of that whatever is here for you is not meant to be denied. That, yes, we are all deserving of love. We are all deserving of feeling a sense of fulfillment in the work that we choose to do. We are all deserving of having our needs met. And when I say our needs met, this is not just, okay, well, I can live a basic existence. I have food and a roof over my head. No. Each one of us is a unique individual with truly unique needs. And these needs are meant to be filled to allow us to be able to achieve our highest potential and to feel fulfilled as we do. And this means, when we think about our own needs, one person's needs may be that they need to have a loving partner and 2 children and a 4-bedroom home, etc., etc., etc. Another person's needs may be that they need the freedom to travel. They need the ability to continually meet new people and to have the ability to maybe have the freedom to be creative. Another person's needs may be that they need to have emotional needs met before physical needs, or vice versa. There are some people who need to have a multi-billion-dollar business, and they need to continually have that push, that drive fulfilled by creating more and more industry or businesses. So when I talk about needs, your needs are meant to be fulfilled. But sometimes we get hesitant in wanting to admit to ourselves what our needs really are, what we are wanting when we are pursuing a specific path, whether it's pursuing a relationship or pursuing a specific work path or pursuing even just a hobby or something that we want, that we know deep within us is going to fulfill a need. And when it's not being filled immediately or manifesting in the way that we want, or the opportunity we feel just kind of keeps going to a dead end, it doesn't mean it's not meant for us. It doesn't mean that that need will never be fulfilled. It means that we are always loved, and that basically sometimes we choose to take an avenue. It's almost like we know we need a relationship, but we keep looking to have that relationship be with the wrong person. And this is when Spirit's like, no, like look over here, look over here. You know, you said you wanted somebody with X, Y, and Z, but you keep going for somebody with A, B, and C. So it's not, sometimes it's just a little bit about having faith in the divine, of broadening your perspective to realize it's not that that thing isn't for you. It's that perhaps you've just gotten so narrow focused on where it needs to come from that you're almost like now at this point telling yourself, well, it's just never going to happen. It's just not for me. Spirit's saying, no, it is. It's time to maybe take a broader step back. So it's very interesting how this card brought a totally different message forward for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead here and take a look. So I'm going to pull a card here for the concept of curiosity. And this is where Spirit really wants you to open yourself up, to be curious as to maybe where you haven't been looking in the right place. You know, oh my gosh, you also got the same card that came out for Aries. Okay, so before I go into these cards, I'm just going to say one additional thing here, that sometimes we can get, you know, Sagittarius, you are the sign, your symbol is the archer. And when we think about that, that's one of your strong suits, is that you can aim, shoot your arrow, and then that's where your energy and your attention goes. But sometimes that can be where you are shooting your arrow, but you're not realizing that, okay, that's lending you kind of the course to go, but that it might, when you get to a certain point, you might have to pick that arrow back up, kind of reel it back in, and shoot a new arrow that might reach a little further, or might be a little to the left. When we think about walking on a path, walking our path, that is never going to be just a straight path. There will be twists and turns. And so where we maybe had shot an arrow, we didn't realize that arrow might have gone off of our path. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't sit there and shoot an arrow again and try to aim for the same thing. We just have to realize that we have to turn. We have to turn on our path, follow our path, take another arrow out, and try again for the same thing. But now we have a different vantage point. We might be now aiming as something that's even better for us. something that now is within our sights that we can see a bit more clearly. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, so we have serendipity, number 18 breaking down to a 9, perfect in alignment with the St. Patrick's Day holiday that's just around the corner here in the States. And then we have to the sea, number 7, beautiful. So when we think about being curious and opening ourselves up to what we don't know, what Spirit's trying to kind of allow us to step back and be surprised by something we don't know, that really is serendipity. That is when something just comes in out of the blue, when we have that synchronistic moment and we're like, wow, that was good luck. Like I just looked down in a field of a bazillion 3-leaf clovers and my eye just caught the 4-leaf clover. It's one of those kinds of moments. Now, actually, what's interesting, I'm going to go ahead and I'm also going to read the little blurb for To the Sea, because this is always an interesting one for me. So, To the Sea, it says essential meanings. It says being in flow, returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together, a natural pattern of events. And the message, it says, isn't it wonderful when you feel yourself in the flow of life, when events and conditions seem to engage you in a way that is fluid and effortless? This card reminds you that going with the flow is exactly what you need to do right now. Ride the wave of opportunity formed by perfect conditions. Allow trust and faith to guide you forward as you flow like a river into the sea of life. I'm going to go ahead here and read the protection message. It says, when external conditions appear to block every attempt to move forward, there's no hidden message for you to decipher. Like the ocean, the tides of experience ebb and flow. You are in a natural cycle, so know that things will flow again in due course. There is no cause for alarm. Stop resisting and fighting against the situation and learn to flow, even when the tide is going out. Relax and trust in the abundance that will soon be within your reach again. An ancient mariner's saying applies to you now. When fishermen cannot go to sea, they stay home and repair their nets. This is the message I really feel for you guys, is that the serendipitous element is the trusting that when it's time, that thing is going to come out of the blue for you. That sometimes we think we have to fight and work and work and work and pull and pull and pull something towards us. And in reality, it's about preparing ourselves for that actual thing to come in. So when we think about what they just said there with the mariner's oath, or mariner's kind of viewpoint, is if there are no fish, there's no point of sitting out at sea for hours and hours and hours. In fact, you can actually do better by going back and preparing for what you know will be a very large harvest or a very large catch of fish the next time, by going and repairing maybe a second net that you have kind of wasting off to the side, so that when what you didn't catch today is balanced by what you catch tomorrow, you have the ability to bring it all in. So where I would say to be curious about is, where in trying to push towards something have you not really been kind of sitting back and realizing, okay, if I can have faith that this is meant for me, because this is meant to be part of something that I need to feel fulfilled, where can I go back and repair a net, so to speak, in preparing for this to come into my life? Where can I just kind of step back and be curious? And then this could look like you wanting to have a relationship and realizing, okay, if I can just trust that the right person will come into my life at the right time, what can I work on myself? Preparing myself to be the right partner, the healthy partner for the person that's going to come in and complement the person I am. So for instance, if we want a person to be, let's say in a relationship with, we want that person to be somebody who is X, Y, and Z. Well, we also have to be the partner. We have to be ready to be the partner to that person who is X, Y, and Z. So if we're like, we want a person who is driven, who is highly successful in their place of work, who wants to lead a successful lifestyle of, going out to eat and traveling and doing all that, well, then you need to go back and make sure you're the person who can fit with that type of person, right? Like if that's the person you're looking for, but yet you look back at your own life and you barely have enough money to go out to eat once a month, let alone every other night, living this glamorous lifestyle, or the reverse, that you want this person who's driven and who's successful in their business, but yet, or successful in their work, but yet you're not that person, that you're somebody who is not happy with what they're doing in their life, and you're somebody who's kind of like, I could go to work today or I could not. I doesn't really care because I just don't feel any fire for what I'm doing. Well, then how are you going to attract somebody who is that? There's an element sometimes we have to realize of what we are wanting for ourselves. We have to, kind of mirror that. We have to hold that mirror up to ourselves and say, well, do I right now in this moment fit that opportunity? If I want to build a thriving business, do I have the infrastructure set up to be able to build that business? Do I have the website down for the business? Do I have my business license? Do I have all the things kind of set up to hold space for this to come in? And there's a little bit to be said about, that's really where to be curious. Where can you go back in, as you're having faith and trust that this is going to come in, where can you go back and basically just kind of shore things up a bit? Make your experience the best that it can be as you wait for this thing to come in, because it sounds a little bit like you've already done the work. You've already, again, when you think about the flow, you might have already built the boat, but the tide hasn't come in just yet. So go back and make sure that boat you built that you're so confident in is really the best boat that it can be. All right, Sagittarius, because, April's coming. April has some powerful energy. There's some interesting, what's going on astrologically is it is kind of like a tide coming in, because the tide's going to go back out a little bit coming into May with some of the planets going retrograde again. So we're kind of building to April, and I really feel for the last half of this month for you, Sagittarius, it's really about getting ready for that kind of almost tidal wave to come in. All right. Let's see. Ooh, you got... Oh, that is way too many. I'm sorry, guys. That was a lot. I'm going to keep the dragonfly one here because it came out right side up. You have... But I'm going to see if we can get any others that are going to come out just on their own. So a dragonfly spirit, truth transcends illusion. Now this is going to be focused around where spirit would like you to be courageous in taking action. Now master number 22, that is the number of the sorry guys, it's the number of kind of the spiritual builder. It's number of firm foundations. And I love that it says truth transcends illusion. So when we think about really having the courage to take action, so having the courage to go back and maybe just say, okay, instead of forcing, oops, let's see, if nothing else wants to come out. I'll take this one as well. Okay. Oh, there's two. Okay. So it says, truth transcends illusion. So when we're thinking about that, we're thinking about kind of having faith and maybe stop pushing so hard towards this thing that you feel has kind of been eluding you. And you're going back and you're realizing, okay, where can I kind of work on myself in the interim while I'm waiting for this thing to come in for me? The truth transcends illusion is key in realizing what's the truth of your present situation now. What is the truth outside of the illusion? So we might have the illusion of us having this grand career path. They might have the illusion of being in the perfect relationship. But right now, what's the truth of the situation? The truth of the situation is there are aspects that need to be kind of attended to right now before this can come in. So if we're saying, okay, we're ready for the big tidal wave to come in and my boat's all ready, but yet you haven't checked the boat and there are maybe holes or weak points, when that tidal wave comes in, that's actually going to be something that you're not going to be able to handle managing, that you're going to get in your boat, and before that flow can take you forward, the boat's going to spring a leak. And you're going to have to then be so focused on that you're not going to be able to take advantage of the energy. So there's something here about really just getting down to the truth of what is, and really getting down to the truth of where you can take action to control that as best you can. Because then we have two additional cards here. We have Brown Bear Spirit, it says number 9, take time out. And Armadillo Spirit says set healthy boundaries, number 3. So these two cards coming up here, there's this feeling of, it is really about taking time out, having the courage to almost not take action towards what you want. Instead, take action towards yourself, shoring up yourself, getting yourself to the best place possible, and setting healthy boundaries as you do that, to really allow yourself that space to be able to focus on you. That's really getting that focus on yourself. Really focus on you, kind of pulling everything back. And again, not giving up on the dream or the hope or what you're working towards, but focusing on yourself to get yourself ready for that thing to come in. So, really clear message coming through for you there, Sagittarius. And last but not least, we're going to pull a card here for the concept of contemplation. And this is where Spirit would like you to reflect on for the rest of them, or reflect for the rest of the month here. Let's see. What does Sagittarius need to reflect on for the second half of the month to really allow them to get ready for the flow that's coming their way? Perfect. We have cleanse. It says your body, mind, and soul are urging you to take time out for some much needed cleansing. Just as you wash your car, clean the house, or tidy your office, your body also needs care and attention. It's time for some spiritual, emotional, and physical cleansing. Wow, that couldn't be more perfect for this reading. So, point of reflection is, where can you get yourself prepared? And part of that is, where can you kind of cleanse yourself inside and out? You know, this could even just be getting into a point of meditation where you're kind of clearing out the old, maybe mental baggage of something, you know, maybe a point where if you're trying to maybe move forward into a different career path, well, maybe you need to release some wounding or some, you know, even just mental stress that's coming from your previous career path or from your current place of work right now, to allow you to have the kind of clarity to move forward freshly and with kind of openness and optimism, instead of kind of carrying the baggage from where you're leaving. Same thing in a relationship. But there's also this feeling of just really, again, focusing back on you, getting yourself to the strongest possible place, both emotionally, physically, mentally, every aspect, so that when the serendipitous moment comes in, you're ready for it. And you're ready to hit the ground running, or rowing, or however you want to take all of these, you know, metaphors we've been working with here, or analogies. So there's, you know, there's this quality here of just really, for the second half of this month, focusing on yourself and kind of getting everything prepared for whatever this aspect is that you want to bring into your life. Beautiful message, Sagittarius. I'm going to leave you here with that. If you would like to illuminate your own personal spiritual importance and to see how it can be of service to yourself and others, I will be running a special for the entire month of April, where my I Am Illuminated 1-hour reading will be discounted from $150 to $111 for the entire month of April. And this reading is really meant to help. I tie in your personal numerology, astrology, and I incorporate a tarot reading where I take a look at your own personal motivations and what you're here to spiritually accomplish. And it's a great reading to really bring awareness to who you are as a unique individual. And I am going to be releasing a video actually before the end of March that really speaks to what is included in that reading and why I feel it's really important for us to be aware of all of the aspects I cover in that reading. So I hope I will see some of you there. And if I don't see you until April's Illumination reading, I hope you have a fantastic rest of March. Bye, Sagittarius.